Hi everybody, and welcome back to Open Source Tonight. Today I thought I'd show you all a little bit about how the website for OpenSourceTonight.com is created. The systems that I have developed to have everything work together. Most of it is just gluing together a lot of open source components, including Hugo for static site management, and the Shaka player for video playback from the CDN. So let's go take a look. Alright, so if we take a look here, this is the website's homepage, and you can see that we're filling in a few variables here. Right here, this is one. In addition to that, we also have got some other things. We've got, if you look down here, this page is the most non-manual of the whole site. We've got these partials, which will include other templates, which I can show you here in a second. So this one, and this one, and this one, right? Those are the big ones. So if we go take a look at the partials folder here, we can see here's one of them. And this will include our nav and everything. So if this was disabled, you wouldn't be able to see the nav. Okay? This is the header. So if we, or the head tags components, you can see all of this is in here, including but not limited to the new search functionality that's now on the website. You can see that code right there. It's relatively simple. And then we've got specific templates for every other page. So this is a template for the video page. You can see here that we are inheriting some things here, if you will, from these other templates. So that way your navigation and everything is all the same. But then we get into the interior of this card, the little white box. You'll see the publish date is going to be automatically formatted for us here to the current date, and or not the current date, but the published date of that video. The title is here. And if we look down here, if CDN underscore video is true, we're going to use our CDN player here, which you can see is here. Otherwise, we're going to use that same video ID and reference YouTube. So it will either come from YouTube or here. That's how that we can have both on the same page. I just substituted in. So for example, if I show you up here in the contents folder and then I pick a random video, this happens to be CDN true. And so if we look up here, make your own cloud server without the CLI, right? This right here, this specific video you can see was published on February 2nd, or February 22nd, sorry, of this year. And I often just set this to midnight local. You don't have to do it that way, but I often am posting these in the website after they've already been published. You can use this for scheduling if you do this at the right time. I like to just usually set it at midnight. If I do it ahead of time, I will set it for the actual time and date of the video's release, though. That's just a simple markdown file. Pages are also the same. So if we go look, here's our about page, you know. Probably should update this. It's not the best, but it is there. And if you've used Markdown before, you'll know that you can use two of these little hashes or the pound sign, and that will create different size heading tags, different size heads, headings. And then we can create paragraphs just by putting a bunch of text and then doing a blank line. So this right here is a paragraph. And if I, for example, copied it and then I had pasted it below with a blank line, we'd have another paragraph automatically created. Okay. And those are actually generated up here by these. So this right here will automate the creation of those right here. You can see we take the name and we pass it into the system, the title, okay, of the page. We have the date, right? And we're going to set it to the current date. That's what that does. We set the mode to draft, which is true. I think I might have switched that to false because I always seem to pretty much always publish it right afterwards. If this is set to true when the site rebuilds from a change, which I'll talk about later in this video, this will be ignored. This page or this page, yeah. Video ID, so you can see here, is blank by default. You know, obviously you'd populate that. The description text, we would populate that. And then we default to CDN video being true because all future videos I plan on being on the CDN. The older videos are still on YouTube and eventually I plan on moving them off. So that's how I handle that. So the older videos that will, I've set them, went into them and set them to be false. And so anything new is going to be true. So that's how that works. We can get out of that. If we look at the assets folder here, that one I don't usually do much with. I use the assets folder mainly under the themes. So if we look under here, this will minify the code automatically. You can see this is actually the code that does the search. It's only 50 lines. It's not the best code in the world, but it does work. So that's right there. That's it. This is our CSS. Again, still could use some work as well. So anyway, we've got all of that. We got different layouts for different things. And then the list of videos, for example, comes from this template, the list.html. And you can see here, we actually don't need this. We need to get rid of that. So some of this code is pretty old and needs to be cleaned up. Things aren't being used like they used to. But if you look here, you can see, we will go through here. This is the list of videos that are populated here. And then if we look down here, this right here is actually what gives you that list of links at the bottom to where you can go to the next video page, because we'll have so many videos, they would be really long if you made one big page. So we limit them to a certain amount. And where does that limit get controlled? It gets controlled in a config file right here. So this is the config file for the site. And you can see down here, this sets what to minify. So that will change what's minified. And then, let's see here. What else is there? Here it is. Pigmentate. I'm really not sure how you pronounce that word, quite frankly, at this point. But that is the amount of videos that will be on a page. It's 14. And so once we get to the 15th one, it will automatically create a second page and set that all up. So again, a lot of automation here. So this base URL is really important because a lot of parts of the site references this to put at the beginning of a URL. The theme name is main, which we've been looking at the contents of here already under this themes main. Our English code is, our language code is en-English. You can use multiple languages with Hugo. This is a script that I wrote to auto push changes to video changes up to the system. So if you look here, you can see that I can run this on a cron script, and this will simply go into the path up here. It will then, once it's CD into it, it will actually do a git add content/videos/video ID. Okay, and then that asterisk here is to catch.md. Then we can do, which I actually could have just done .md, which is probably a cleaner way to do it, but anyway. And then if that was successful, that's what this double ampersand means. We're going to run this commit message, and this commit message is saying new video posted, and then it's this variable ID. And then if that was successful, we do a get push. So if we look back up here at the variable ID, it is referencing variable 1. Variable 1, when you're using bash, is the first argument after the script name. This is a bash script. So what this means is that I will paste into the cron tab a reference to the script. Then behind it, I will put in quotes the video ID. And that's it. And then I set that for the right time and right day and walk away. And at the right time, this will run. It should, hopefully without issues, do the thing it needs to do. And then we're good to go. All right. So that's how that works. Episodes is a little different as well because we will handle different. Right now it's the video player for YouTube or the audio player UI. However, this page actually is partially broken. This site is old enough that some things used to work, and then I've changed different other things, and it's broke stuff. So if we look at all that, we've got that. Here we've got our get ignore, which this is also needing an update. I mean, this literally even references a exe file, which this hasn't been built on Windows in a long time. So if we look at the development side of it, this right here is the command. So I'm telling Hugo to create a web server, let it be accessible anywhere from the computer network, because I'm often running this on a different machine that I'm actually connected to locally for viewing the site. And then I'm saying use the base URL of this during development. And there it is. This web page might look familiar to you. This is the Open Source Tonight website rendered locally. So if I change anything, this will auto update on the server, and then I can refresh my browser. So let's say that I put this on this side of the screen, I put this on this side of the screen, and now let's say that I actually intentionally edit the home page to, I don't know, be something else. Hold on. Let's say I intentionally edit the home page to be something else. That's easy. What we'll do is we can actually just comment out this line right here, and then I'm going to just save it here. And if we watch, look at that. It changed the home page right there. Now, if I undo this again, we're going to just do that and hit save. And you can see the video player is back. Or not the video player, the featured video text up here. So that's all we have to do is just comment it out. And then we're good to go. So I could actually comment out the video as well, for example. This is coming from the CDN. So I could comment this out, save it. Oh! Hugo's actually having an auto refresh now. Used to I had to do that by hand. That's interesting. I haven't noticed that. Anyway, that's cool. So we'll save it back, and you can see we reload. And so that is the simplistic part of it. You know, it actually works. So where do we go from here? Well, what we're going to do now is we really can talk about how this works from the backend situation. So let's look at that. So if we look at the Open Source Tonight GitHub, you can see this is where everything is. And if we actually look up here, you can see that everything is actually created as an output to the world right here in this public folder. See that? That's how that works. So public is actually what will get built. And that, or where the actual output of Hugo, the building process, will actually go. So if we actually take a look, what's really cool about this is with DigitalOcean, they will monitor this repo for changes. So for example, this JSON file of all the videos, right? That's actually what powers the search. Guess what? If that gets changed or anything else, it will just move it. All right. So if we look at DigitalOcean here, you can see this is where the actual building process happens. So if we look over here, you can see it's actually referencing my repo. The source directory is the root of the repo. It has auto deploy on, and that's really important because that means that whenever a change is made, it's going to automatically run with the new code that it pulls down from Git this command. Okay. It auto detects the right output directory, so I don't have to worry about that. But if it didn't, I could always change that. So what this means is if I change the website, then it will change. So I'm going to actually show that. Let's do a demo. I'm going to temporarily just get rid of the title. Okay. All right. So if we take a look here, you can actually see that we've just done that. We've did our git push. And look down here. Building. It is building the static site right now. And it's about to push that deployment. As you can see, in just a moment, that change will be live on opensourcetonight.com. So you can still see it says featured video for now. It says deploying. Here we go. It's about to be live. And that's it. It deployed successfully. And bingo. Just like that, we altered the website that people get to look at on their monitors. So with that simple automated process, I'm able to push out changes very easily. Anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not the easiest thing to explain, but thanks to all this technology, I've got a lot of stuff set up. But I'm going to show you just one more thing. So if we come back over here, there is one other thing I'd like to show you. I have this right here. So if we look at this folder, this is an example video right here on the CDN, okay? So it's got this video ID up here. The folder name itself inside of this is the name of the video ID. Or the name of the folder is the video ID. And we have a caption file, en.btt, that's for our English closed captions. We've got these files, a AV1 1080p, 720p, oh, that's 720 right here, and then 480 here, and then audio here. So this right here will allow us to have the 3 resolutions and obviously audio. We have got a HLS group here, and then we have got a MPEG dash file. The web page presently only uses the MPEG dash. And the Roku app also uses the MPEG dash. So if I show you what that looks like, let's just, sure, we can download that. So this is what the file looks like. You can see here that this is what represents the video, and that's what that player will pull down. So this right here is created with Shaka Packager, which can then be played by Shaka Player. So I think that pretty much covers it. The only other thing I would say is we obviously are using Hugo, and Hugo is super powerful. I highly recommend you check it out. But anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts about this process in the comments. It's not perfect, but it's definitely semi-automated at this point. With the Hugo command, I can actually go in and add videos in just a few simple taps of the keyboard. It's so easy. It will take those templates, let me just quickly fill in a few values, and then save that. I usually do it with Nano via SSH, and then I just do a git push of that change with a git commit and a git add, and then before you know it, it's up in the repo, which is backed up, and then it's also going to be pulled back down to be served. Well, everybody, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.
And action.